The entire team at the Emsolation podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and work. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders and ancestors. We acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded and stand in solidarity towards a shared future. I personally want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I record this podcast every week, the Wurundjeri people. I recognise their continued connection to the land and waters of this beautiful place I call home. Always was, always will be.
This is the Emsolation Summer Series.
Well, look, if you ever need a Leopard Print Wiggle, I am at your service.
Anytime. It'd be great, mate.
Anthony Field.
This is like a therapy session, by the way.
I love it. It's my favourite one.
Em Rusciano with Anthony Field for the Emsolation Summer Series.
Hello and welcome to the first edition of the Emsolation in Conversation Summer Series. And doesn't that just roll off the tongue? My name is Em Rusciano and I'm about to bring you an interview that I did with the Blue Wiggle, Anthony Field. Anthony Field is someone who has been in my life for the last 18 years. The Wiggles have been around for, I think, about 87. So obviously I have an 18-year gap between my firstborn and thirdborn. So I have been through all the phases with the Wiggles, come in and out, but they've always been there. And I think my most favourite thing about today was I was able to thank Anthony, and you'll hear it, the most sincere thank you can only give to a children's entertainer who has allowed you to wee solo a few times, to get some emails done. You know, it was, and I know he hears it from so many parents, but I just needed to do it as well. I needed to do that. So over the next 4 weeks, you're going to be hearing from people that I have labelled big feeling light seekers. And it's an eclectic bunch, I have to say. It's a bunch of people that I know have been to the absolute outer rims of mental health and to the depths of despair and have clawed their way back with stories to tell and lessons they've learned. And they're just people who make my life better in every way. So Anthony Field is obviously the first you're going to hear. Next week, you're going to hear from Melissa Leung from MasterChef. You're also going to be getting a bonus episode with one Stephen Peacock. Yes, sirree, Bob. 5 Bedrooms, Home and Away, The Newsreader. Michael Lucas has done a solo interview with Stephen Peacock. I wasn't allowed in. I was banished from this. Michael's like, up, I'll do it. So on Tuesday, strap in for a very special extra chat that I'm not involved in. You will not hear my voice. That could be heaven for a lot of you on Tuesday. So you're getting 2 episodes next week because we love you and we want to take care of you and we know that this is a nice relaxing time / could be very stressful and wanted to give you a bit of an escape. The Anthony Field chat, though, that you're about to hear, the Blue Wiggle, I see him. And Anthony, if you're listening, and I think you might be, you are such an impressive human, just an incredible human who is really hard on himself. And you're going to hear in this interview how hard he is on himself. And you can just tell that he's someone who's been very broken at times, but has found somehow a way to cobble himself back together. And you know that saying where there's cracks in something beautiful, it allows the light in and the light to shine through. And I think he does let that. I think even though Anthony feels as though he's full of cracks, and I'm not speaking out of turn saying that, I think he's found a way to let the light shine through those cracks, and that is in the way of performing for kids. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm getting a bit teary talking about it. It was just one of the most glorious experiences of my life. I have to say, I don't know how it's going to listen. I haven't listened to it back because I was afraid it would lose its magic. So I'm not going to listen to it because I enjoyed the interview so much. And I'm worried that if I listen back to it, some of the experience will, like the sheen will come off it. It just sits in this place in my mind of just the perfect experience. I hope you get something from it. I hope it gives you a new appreciation of this wonderful man and what he does. And Anthony, I want to thank you for your time. You were very generous. The sound's a bit dodgy because he just had his mobile phone and I didn't want to make him go find a microphone or a quiet space. So the sound isn't perfect, but you'll get the idea. Please enjoy this. And don't forget, on Tuesday, you're going to be getting Stephen Peacock. And then on Thursday after that, you're going to be getting Melissa Leung from MasterChef. Okay, enjoy our first Emsolation conversation with the Blue Wiggle, Anthony Field.
You're listening to the Emsolation Summer Series.
Anthony Field, the Blue Wiggle, welcome to the Emsolation Summer Series. I'm most nervous about interviewing you.
Really?
Yeah. You're a pretty big deal in my house, mate.
Oh, that's good. That's yeah, but it's funny, isn't it, when your children are loving a show, and I have experience with my own children. There was this Scottish show called Balamori. And my daughter Lucia loved Miss Hooley, who was the star. And fast forward like 10, 12 years later, we were touring Scotland, and I actually met Miss Hooley, and I rang Lucia, and she was exactly like she was when she was 4. So I do get it with your children. If they love something, you're in there as well.
Well, yeah, I have 3 children. Marcella is 20, Odette is 14, and Elio is 2. So I've had you over 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow. It is. I know. So when I say I'm starstruck and honoured and...
Oh, same back at you.
No.
Do you know Captain Feathersword, Paul Paddock?
Yeah.
He had like 15 years between, and I said to him, did you forget everything? He said, I forgot everything.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
Do you forget that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. And because I guess it was my first boy as well, I'd had these 2 glorious women, and then at 40, my husband and I decided, we'll have one more. And, it was a shock. But you were a constant. Like, you hadn't changed. You still have that. I can tell you love what you do, and I love what I do, and I'm drawn to passion in people. I don't have heroes. I'm more drawn to passionate people, and they could be passionate about tomatoes, and I will be on board with them.
Yeah.
And I've watched you for the last 18 years, and you just fucking glow from the inside, man, when you do it. And so I don't know, I'm just grateful. And I know you have parents say this to you all the time, but I had postnatal depression with my second child, and I just knew I could put her in front of you while I was trying to figure out what was going on, and you held the space for me. And that's like, I get emotional talking about the Wiggles, and that's why if anyone ever comes for you on the rare occasions, I will be your fiercest protectors, because Anthony.
Mate, that's great. Believe it or not, I was the same when we had our children as little children. I'd come home off a tour, and they'd be watching the Wiggles as though I wasn't really a part of them. And I once went in, and I said this without irony, and I said to Murray and Greg and Jeff, I said, guys, thank you. I was a parent. I said, mate, what my kids? So I understand. And I went and took my children to play school.
Yeah.
And they slept. It was at the Opera House, but I loved it.
I grew up on play school. John and Benita were my 2 favourite. And watching the way, I don't know if you remember John, but he was bonkers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the cigarettes fell out of his pocket one time, and he had hide the sausage jokes that were obviously going over my head, but I look back now and think he was a comedic genius.
He was. He is. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, no, he's still alive, obviously. But no, a lot of parents, like mostly parents, listen to me and us, and you were the number one, well, anyone from the Wiggles, but I specifically wanted you because you're a big part of my parenting journey. And I know that's is that odd for you that gets said to you so often? It must be a strange thing.
Yeah, I never take it for granted. And a lot of kids come up to us who are adults now, and they say,
of course,
you were such a part of our childhood.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why when we do the OGs, Original Wiggles reunion concerts, they're absolutely crazy because people are reliving but the mums come too, mums or dads come.
Can you see my T-shirt? Like, I don't know if you can. Yeah, man. Of course we come.
So that, this is great, like, wow, it's fantastic, and that it's, still around. And
what a thing you've made, like what a legacy. Like, and I know everyone I'm interviewing during this series, I'm calling you like big feeling light seekers. So I can tell, I don't know, when I see you and now I've read about you and my instincts were right, you feel life pretty hard, like the nerve endings are on the outside of your skin. And that's how I've grown up and that's how I am. And and usually people like us end up having mental battles.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah, it's true. And sometimes, I don't know if it's in your case, but in my case, you put so much into something and you get disappointed by people then when they don't. Oh, that's all part of life, learning about.
No, but it hurts. Like everything hurts. And because people like us put 1,000% in, and it's like it becomes our very like existence. And then when you don't get the same back, and that's what I work on in therapy, is not expecting back what I put in, because it's an unrealistic standard for 9 out of 10 people, Anthony, let's be honest. We're like lunatics about that stuff.
Yeah.
How have you managed to get better with disappointment? Because I'm still at 42. I get that initial hit of disappointment in something or someone, and then it's very hard not to sink into the depths of despair and into a death roll with like a crocodile of emotions at the bottom of the river. Like, are you better at stopping the death roll?
Well, I'm a lot older, and what I mean by that is there's experience. And I, a couple of years ago, I went so bad because, people in all businesses, some people say things about you or do things, and I couldn't cope with it because I always felt I was just up front. But I had this really great counsellor. I've been going to different counsellors, but my actually GP is a really good counsellor, and he sat down and he said to me, "You expect everyone to get you." And he said, "Only 2 or 3 people are really going to get you. And as soon as you throw out that expectation, you're going to be a lot better off." And it was really great. I actually started going, okay, I'll just withdraw. I don't have to be loved by everyone. I don't have to get that approval from everyone.
Yes.
And that was good. But on the other side too with me is that I do have a chemical thing going on, because at the start of the year I went and saw, they give you the test if you're clearly depressed. And they give you this test.
Yes, I've done it. Yep.
Yeah. And every time I do it, I go, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine." He goes, "No, you're not."
You've aced the test, Anthony. You've aced the test. You are clinically depressed.
Yeah, I just didn't pass it, and I thought I would. But anyway, he put me back on Zoloft.
Great.
And I've noticed, and I saw him last week. I said to him, it's actually helped me. And he said, "This is something you're going to have to be thinking about for a long time."
Of course.
I was on it for ages, and then I got off it. But I took myself off it, and that was dangerous.
That often happens.
Especially with the lockdown, I was, So anyway, when we were touring in a bus right around America, I would occasionally say to everyone, "Quick, run up the back of the bus. He's not going to make this corner. He's not going to make it. Quick." Or, okay, a wave's coming at the beach. We're going to get all...
Yeah, I do the same thing, man. Yeah. You're such an advocate for mental health within men, and you recently did a promo with 2 people I love dearly, Lyndon Collins-Watts and Sam Mack, both really good mates of mine. You've been to some real hellish places with your mental health. I know that. I watched all your videos and stories, and I saw you speak beautifully about your dad and the life lesson he taught you. Do you want to tell everyone that one life lesson that you took away from your dad?
Dad basically said his life lesson was, don't be hard on yourself. And it's hard when when your brain's keeping going like this. But so
is that why you do it though? Like, do you want other men to not feel as low as you did? Like, because you've touched that. If I can prevent one person from feeling like I did, then that's why I do it. Is that why?
Well, it's funny because years ago, my brother encouraged me to talk about it. I was only talking to Murray 2 days ago about when we were touring England. He said, because no one ever spoke about mental health. This is in the early 90s. And he said, you would go into a room and you were crying after a show and just say, what's wrong with this guy? Like they'd say, the guys would talk.
Yeah.
Or everyone's having a good time and I'm just in this little corner.
Oh, I'm the same after shows, Anthony. I'm the same.
Yeah, right. So,
too much.
Yeah. So if we all talk about it now, then you can actually recognise, okay, maybe someone could go up to me and say, maybe you should see somebody about this, or, can we talk about it? But I sometimes get asked to talk about mental health, and I can't, because I actually feel like I'm not an expert. I'm just coping with it myself. Like, I can't go and talk in a seminar or something. I can't. I don't know much stuff.
You know how much powerful that would be? You are an expert because you live it and you survive it, and you do a pretty fucking good job of being successful with it. And I would much rather watch you talk than an expert.
Okay. I just thought to myself, I haven't solved the answers because it's still here.
No, but you're doing it. You know what I mean? You're going about the business of living a really big life.
Yeah.
Even though you've got this battle that goes on every day, you're still doing it. And I think you're leading by example. And I think that's the most powerful thing for humans, is to see someone they know and love and respect and recognize walking the talk, which you are. I would love to see you talk about mental health.
Oh, well, I just, up until this moment, I haven't thought about it, because I thought they think I've got the answers, but I'm still there.
No one wants the answers. They just want to know it's
how do you
possible.
Cope? How do you live?
Yeah.
And it's funny, the job that I do, which is
the wiggle.
Yeah, it's such a great world away from all that. And that's why I love it. That's why music, our audience, the shows, travelling around, although sometimes I get a bit bad.
I can't tour. I don't like touring. Yeah.
I just pull that back.
The worst. Yeah. But no, I get it. It's fine. When you're on stage and in the moment, it's great. But then it's the hotel rooms by yourself, the airports, the checking in and out, the loneliness, the missing your family. I like on stage, but everything else. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. It's interesting you say that. Like, I feel the same way when I'm within music and doing music, or when I'm performing. It's the only time I'm not in my head. I'm just present. I think I would love to do. I swear too much, and I'm a fairly abrasive comedian, but I would love to do children's entertainment for the same. I dress like a children's entertainer on stage, but I imagine it would be a wonderful escape from your head.
But the great thing about preschool teaching and about early childhood music and early childhood, there's no sarcasm. It's just straight honesty, and it's a nice world, and it's like totally different to the world that may inhabit your head when you go home and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're not sleeping. What the hell? So that's why I'm very lucky and just yourself, you're lucky to get out and sing. You sing, and which is fantastic, so
I do. It's my total escape. Singing is that, like, I had to become, and I think you're a bit similar. I really wanted to be a famous musician, but that's very hard in this country. So I kind of became a stand-up comedian to trick people into coming to see me make music.
There you go.
I can tell how much you love it. And you were very successful though with Cockroaches first, but I can see you with the music. And I've been watching your Instagram videos. Music for you is therapy. Yeah.
I just play for hours. I love it. I can't sing for nuts. I've got my esophagitis. I've got no inner hearing, so I can't even hear my voice being in tune. But out the hearing, I can hear my music, and I love music. I love putting it together. I love playing it, but I love listening to singers. But singing's not my thing.
I love that the lead singer of the Wiggles is like, singing's not my thing. No, I'm not the lead singer.
I've never been. I just sit back.
Lockie's the lead singer, we should say.
Em Rusciano with Anthony Field for the Emsolation Summer Series.
So you're making the Christmas special as we speak, and we're getting ready for Carols in the Domain. Is that correct?
We are. We got so at Carols in the Domain, we've got Emma's going to be our last.
One of my favourite humans.
Yeah,
Emma. Yes.
Look, I'd say the last Carol, but you never say never. But, And Sahai, it's her first.
Oh, great.
So Emma and Sahai are going to come out, and then all the other fruit salad Wiggles are there.
Well, that is quite exciting.
So Greg's going to be there. And, Greg had a big...
How's his health?
It's really good. He's turned his life around to be all about, what do they call those things?
What? What's
defibrillators?
Oh, defibrillators. Yes,
Yeah,
of course, because that's
that
what
saved his
helped
life.
him at the gig.
Yeah, that saved his life. So, and even at the Castle Hill RSL where it happened, there's 3 floors. The only defibrillator they had was in the bottom floor. Now, we were on the 3rd floor, and somebody the other day told me that their daughter, and it's somebody famous, ran down to and found that defibrillator, ran up and timed it. Took her 2 minutes to get up to the top. So it's somebody famous.
Oh,
daughter.
my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So now Castle Hill RSL have got them in every floor, and Greg's going around to shopping centres, clubs, trying to get people to get them in because they save lives. You know? So,
Oh, my God. You guys are just all saints. Jesus, you just make me feel terrible. I need to be doing more. No, you are. You absolutely. I like you most because you're a vulnerable, flawed saint, which gives everyone hope. You don't ever pretend to be anything that you're not.
Well, thank you for that. I remember my brother Paul was directing videos years ago, and my grandfather used to have gold teeth, right?
Yeah.
And I love gold teeth, and I lost all my teeth with Lyme disease in the arm. I got tick bite in the army.
Yeah.
I got Lyme disease. I lost all my teeth. So I've got those, the titanium implants.
Yeah.
And first was just white, and I was really bored, and I got a gold tooth. And then my brother Paul, God bless him, he made me cover it up while we were filming because he said, you look like a gangster. But it overtook me, and I got like gold.
Oh, my God.
Everywhere.
I always wondered about your teeth.
Yeah, because I don't have any. But
they're gold teeth.
Yeah,
you
a lot
are
of
such
gold.
a gangster.
Yeah, it's not really because I don't have teeth. But
oh, my God.
It's really my grandfather, his influence. You know, in the old days they used to have,
Yes.
and they weren't gangsters. But
No.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know your gold went all the way up the side.
Yeah, I'm going to get all the teeth are starting to crack now, the ivory.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get a lot more gold. But I don't know.
I'm going to get more gold. Anthony's just going to come out with a grill. You're just going to hello.
You've got to be yourself, right? So I like it.
I love it. I'm the same. Look at all my tattoos because I'm bored.
Yeah.
These are all boredom tattoos,
Oh,
mate.
they're everywhere.
Yeah. Same.
That's the same. But with the fruit salad wiggles, John came from the Justice Crew.
Yes.
And,
he loves the jewellery and the bling.
And I'm not going to touch that.
No.
That's him. Sahai loves bling. She absolutely loves bling, and that's her.
Yes.
So I think there's a lot of honesty in being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then adults will see reflections of themselves, not just the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So with tats in the old days were like only army, only prisoners. You know, everyone now. Yeah. And what are your tats?
I have an owl. I was always obsessed, and I'm obsessed with owls. Growing up, an owl, like a barn owl, would perch on the clothesline out front of my window. And because I have such a fast mind, I was really drawn to how still they were. So I have a few owls on my body.
Wow.
Yeah, I love owls, and I've got my kids' names, which I'm sure you have your kids' names. I mean,
yeah,
that's
I've
a
got them.
given.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandfathers, Luigi and Edward.
Oh, brilliant.
Just a bird, a skeleton key to remind me that I'm the driver of my emotions. I forget that all the time.
Wow.
Skulls. I've got skulls. I've got a rose. I don't know. I usually get them at a moment in time where I need to be grounded. Like I've noticed it's always when I feel like I'm untethered, I'll go get a tattoo. Like it's like this dopamine, you know, that. But yeah, I mean, I love them. I don't really see them. Like when people first meet me, it's a bit like, it's a bit unexpected. But I don't know. They're just part of me and part of my story. They're not tough stickers or I don't know. I really love them. I want to get more and cover myself in them. I want to be an old lady covered in tattoos.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. I think, what I see in you is, and same as me, a lifetime of feeling misunderstood by people. So the need to be yourself is like, I'm the same as you. Like it's too exhausting to pretend to be someone else because everything else is so tiring up here that if you can find a job, which you found and which I've found, that you are allowed to be yourself. I mean, you to an extent, obviously you're entertaining kids.
Oh, yeah. You can, there are some things.
You can't get up and go, oh, guys, I'm feeling like shit today. So
yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that you do give people like me permission to be me, and just through what you do on a kids show. So it really matters. And what you've done with Fruit Salad TV, and I know you cop shit about it, you're willing to evolve and grow as a person in your late 50s. Like, it's a new conversation. It's learning about representation, and not many straight white blokes are really into that conversation. So I hate when it's shut down and when people are trying to shut you down and you're like, no, we want to do the best we can, and this is how we're going to do it. Did you feel bruised at the time when you were getting attacked for all the Fruit Salad TV stuff?
Even when I put it together, look, I said to everybody at Wiggles, the old success has many fathers and failure's an orphan. I said, well, I'm going to take full responsibility for this. Even amongst our, some people in our world here were really against changing. But I just know we had to. I just wanted to. And I wanted to be gender balanced.
Yeah.
Wanted to be diverse, and it's just been so great, and it's fun having that many people up on stage too.
Yes,
Sahai is she's unbelievable.
She's unbelievable. Yeah, I love Sahai. Yes, and Evie as well. Oh, the other blue wiggle.
Do you know how I met Evie? I was backstage. Jimmy Barnes asked me to play bagpipes at his one-man show where he's talking about it.
What a moment.
Yeah, well, there was three of us, three guys I was in the army with, and we came on and we piped. And after the show, I was backstage at the Opera House, and I said, we should get a photo because we're all dressed up. And Evie walked by, and I never met her in my life, didn't know who she was. She was in a tracksuit, and I said, excuse me, do you mind if we take a photo? She took a photo. And I said, what are you doing back here? Like, as in, how come you're in? She said, I'm in Capalia, the Australian Ballet, and I'm lost. And I went, okay. So I said, you go around that way, blah, 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 And then she said, you're the Wiggle guy. And I said, yeah. And I said, we'll get a photo with us. So she got a photo with us. And then we became mates on Instagram. And she wrote to me, I said, one day I'd love you to be part of the Wiggles. She said, blue looks good on me. And she's not like that.
No, it's just funny.
She doesn't put herself forward.
Yeah.
But I always remembered it.
Oh.
And, she's First Nation Australian.
Yes.
And her sister is her understudy. So Evie can't do carols this weekend, but her sister has come up, and the sister is just absolutely wonderful, just like Evie. She's special. She's very special. So, it's really good.
That's so great. See, another person that you influenced coming up, and you've now cast her as your offsider.
But I reckon you can pick people like that and you go,
You knew.
Yeah, straight away.
Well, look, if you ever need a Leopard Print Wiggle, I am at your service.
Anytime. That'd be great, mate. You'd be brilliant.
I would love that. If at any time you think,
What part of Italy are your people from?
Potenza. So
where's that?
Southern, so around the ankle of the boot, if we're thinking of Italy, right in the middle, Calabria. It's a very small province right in the middle of the country. So my dad came here. He landed in Fremantle in 1954 with his mother and and because my nonno had already come here 6 months earlier with his brothers to set up.
Yep.
Yeah, so I feel you're Italian.
No, I'm not. No. Okay, I'll get my DNA done. There's a crazy world. My grandfather, his mother's name was Teresa Cerruti. I can't even say probably Cerruti, right?
Yeah.
And they came from, Carlo Cerruti, my great-great-grandfather, came from Milano.
Yeah.
But they brought him out to be stonemasons, but they were called Swiss Italians.
Ah.
So when I got my DNA done, it's Scandinavian and French. Mum's the one that's got Italian, French. Dad's, Irish, English. So I'm a fruit salad. I really am.
You are Italian. You are at your core. You are.
Well, my wife's Greek.
Yeah.
So she was talking about last night about fun things, and she uses the word which. The WOG word.
Walk all the time, mate. Yes.
All the time.
I own it. That is like everything has that in front of it. Yes.
And, when I grew up, it was no one ever owned it. It was such a derogatory term.
That's what I got called at school, yeah.
Yeah, but she was talking about the crystals glasses that all the parents got, and her father he's a classic, real classic Greek man. The house has got the dining special room,
stunning, the formal dining. No one goes in there, no one touches it. The good crystals there. Don't you go in there? There's a good crystal.
That's it.
Love it. The good room. It's the good room, only for guests, and even then, no family.
Well, yeah, we had some great, anyways, some real great cultural moments. The wedding was like a big, big fat Greek wedding.
Yes.
I'd never kissed so many men in my life. It was, I was like, it was, it was, but my mum, the way she brought us up was, very, if people came, she put food on their table, and all that. Totally gave us guilt trips all the time.
Italian. She's Italian, mother. I'm hearing it.
Nice.
And she had 6 kids. She had 6 kids too, didn't she? Like
seven.
7.
Yeah. Do you know what she said when I got a tattoo? This is classic, Mum.
I bet you. Go. I bet you the same thing my dad said. Go.
She said 9 months I grew that arm and you've ruined it. Now I got my nephew's, my godson Luke. I got him. I bought him a tattoo for his 18th birthday. Right? You know what my mum said?
What?
You may as well have given him heroin.
So she's not dramatic. Oh my God, I love her.
So my godson Luke, when he goes to Mum's place, he wears jumpers. He is still terrified. He's in his 30s now of showing her the tattoos, and he's covered. Like, she's fantastic. She's 88 now, and
love
she's
her.
I love her too. But any tact. She know what she says to me about the Wiggles all the time, and I don't know where it's come from.
What?
She said, "Love, you've stopped making good tunes. There's no melody anymore in the Wiggles." And yes. What? She's now giving her credit. She was this master pianist.
Oh, she was, of course. She made you all learn instruments. Yes.
So, but you can't pinpoint which era. But she says you've lost your melodies, and I there's no way of answering it. This is like a therapy session, by the way.
I love it. It's my favourite one. I always end up in therapy sessions because I've picked my people. I don't know, I'm always seeking people that understand me as you are, and I just knew the people I picked get it.
That's it.
I love it. Well, I'm going to let you go because I know that you are furiously rehearsing. Anthony Field, thank you for all that you do. I see you. I understand the toll it takes, but I also understand the joy it brings you. And it's that balance. It's the balance, isn't it?
I hope one time we can go out and have a coffee or something.
Please.
Or, whatever.
Or a beer or a wine or both. Yeah.
The OG tour, the rider would usually be the same.
Yeah.
But there's a guy named Murray on the tour, so it's not going to be just cordial. I know that.
I love it. Murray's hardcore, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks
bye.
God bless. Bye.
You too. Bye.
This is Emsolation.
Hello there, I'm not Em. I'm Benjamin Wasley. I'm the executive producer of Emsolation with Em Rusciano, and Em's asked me to jump in here and just wrap things up for her because, she's busy. Of course, you've just enjoyed the first in the Emsolation Summer Series with Anthony Field from the Wiggles, and next week you'll get even more. On Tuesday, Michael Lucas returns and sits down with Stephen Peacock, the actor that appears in his shows 5 Bedrooms and, of course, The Newsreader. And then next Thursday, you'll also have more from Em as she sits down with Melissa Leong from MasterChef. The following week, she'll have a conversation with Virginia Gay, and then the week after that, Jamila Rizvi. Of course, we need to remind you too that Spotify have now given you the ability to rate your favourite podcasts. So if you feel so inclined, we would love it if you just went to Spotify, hit up Emsolation with Em Rusciano, hit those 3 little buttons next to the bio, and that should bring up a little rate this show, and then you can hit that and mark 5 stars. If you don't want to do 5 stars, that's entirely up to you, but why would you even bother? If you're not going to give a 5-star review, keep it to yourself. I'm sure that's what Em would say if she was given the opportunity. Probably no, she wouldn't. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the first in the Emsolation Summer Series. You'll hear more from Michael Lucas and Em Rusciano in the coming weeks. In the meantime, though, enjoy. Emsolation with Em Rusciano is a Spotify exclusive podcast hosted by Em Rusciano with Michael Lucas. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley. Produced by Em Rusciano. Edited by Ezekiel Fan at Entente Music. With videos by Liam O'Brien. Socials by Marcella Rusciano Barrow. With assistance from Jem Evans and Georgia Watts. Plus occasional technical wizardry, wine and coffee from Em's dad Vince. Get more Emsolation by following the Emsolation podcast on Instagram, where you can also sign up for our weekly newsletter. You can join other Emsolators at the Emsolation group on Facebook. The answer is Harry Styles. If you love what we do, share this podcast with a friend and make sure you're following us on the Spotify app. Thanks for taking time out to listen to this week's episode, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.